Hello, everybody. Hello, goddesses. So I wanted to just add some meditations for you guys, some ideas for journaling, and just kind of some more work for you to do at home on the subject because, as I said before, this is also a personal path. And so I want you to be able to feel free to explore the sacred feminine and find out what really resonates with you. So in addition to the Awakening Shakti book by Sally Kempton, I also would recommend, if you're really into learning more about this stuff, this one is a little bit more, we'll say, maybe scholarly. This one is called Shakti Rising, and it is by Kavita M. Chinayan. She's an MD. She's a cardiologist who likes to blend her medical expertise with her knowledge of yoga, tantra, and just help people eliminate suffering through their lives. So there's this book, and then always recommend this to those that are studying the Divine Feminine, and just most yoga students, is the Radiant Sutra. And that's translated by Lauren Roche. And this is pretty much the handbook for Tantra. It is said to be basically the householder's meditation guide, versus the Yoga Sutra is maybe a little bit more strict guide for those who were gurus of yoga and meditation, those who were ascetic path, or those who were like monks. So this is a lot more beautiful and flowing, and you will fall in love with it. It's said to be the conversations between Shiva and Shakti. So that's the male and the feminine, and like the greater, the bigger Shiva and Shakti. So you'll find these verses to be really powerful and beautiful, and they've been translated with so much love. So here's an example. Radiant Sutra number 67. Shining one, whose body flows with power. When you are astonished, startled, or afraid, and gasp a shocked inhalation, right there. Sense the vibration of that gasp on your palate, the shimmer of that sound in the mouth. It evokes a flood of knowing, a gush of the divine. So as you can see, it's a little bit more wordy, and you'll find some really beautiful gateways into the practice of Tantra through the Radiant Sutras. They're also doing a teacher training. It's a 200-hour online. So I think that's coming up this fall, and you can definitely check that out. And so those are the books I have for right now on Divine Feminine. So if you want to go ahead and get out your journal, I have a couple of questions that you could consider, maybe just as your initial journal entry, or just wonderment, ponderment of what the Divine Feminine means to you. Okay, so whenever you're ready, list a few qualities that you would specifically call feminine. Remember, this is just for you, so you can be open and honest about what your feelings are now, and then see how that changes. Okay, feel free to pause anytime you need more time. The next question is, consider your image of the Divine Feminine. And you can just take notes or write a couple of things if you feel artistic today, maybe draw a picture. How were you brought up to think about the Divine Feminine? So this may be different than the perspective that you hold now, but you can just start to think about that. Like, how was the feminine honored in your home, in your traditions, in your, maybe if you were a part of a religion or any other practices that you embrace, or that your family did as you were growing up? How were you brought up to think about feminine power? Do you feel that there is a type of creativity that is specifically female or feminine? how does that show up in the people that you know? So thinking of the people you know, maybe how does that bias towards, or how does that specifically feminine creativity show up in your life? And then you might just also add any other thoughts that you have around the subject in general. If that's an idea that was even present in your life, and maybe how you would like to shift in your own just openness to that duality of life. So of kind of embracing both sides. Okay, so following, I'm going to have about 10 or 11 meditations and maybe some journal entries as well for you based around each goddess. So thank you again for listening. Thank you so much for attending our workshop. And don't worry if you missed it, we will definitely be touring with this soon. So I'm hoping to make this into a full weekend, possibly even retreat. So again, thank you so much for showing up for the goddess in you. And just remember that you have all of this information to help you, guide you on your path and what's next. So namaste.